Red Stripe, Premier League. I miss one bag of gold medal pan me no. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem. Red Stripe, watcha. Band shall I be the forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal win a run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now. Pop down we run the marathon boy. The wish I never made it that the champion boy pan. Nah man I don't a songsters boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy.
The National Stadium, the venue here in Kingston, Jamaica, of Red Stripe Premier League football semi-final action. The first leg of this second semi-final between Cavalier and Waterhouse. We've already seen Portmore get by Mount Pleasant by 2-1. What will happen tonight in this battle here between Cavalier and Waterhouse? Waterhouse have not beaten Cavalier in a Red Stripe Premier League match in over 3 years, and they will try to do so tonight in a game that is a lot more important than the 3 times that they've already met so far this season.
Yeah, everywhere they've been playing, that Waterhouse have not come up trumps against the Cavalier team. A very, very slick Cavalier team. And yeah, it is true that Cavalier's record over Waterhouse is no fluke, Lance, and they've been looking to front their superiority over Marcel Gale's team once again. But I think Waterhouse, their season suggests that they're primed for a big finish, and a big finish would equal a Red Stripe Premier League title.
Yeah, well, we have already spoken about the impressive Portmore season that they've had, but Waterhouse only finished within 4 points of Portmore this season, so Waterhouse's season couldn't have been that bad. Remember the quarter-final matchups, the Waterhouse team, they will be awaiting this Cavalier team that got past the efforts of Arnett Gardens by 3-0 on aggregate. Having won the first leg by 3-0, they didn't need to do more than a 0-0 draw in the second leg.
Yes, indeed. So the first leg semi-final, as you noted, Lance, Portmore United taking care of Mount Pleasant 2-1. They report in 7 days' time to battle again in the second 90 minutes. Cavalier and Waterhouse now getting ready to punch up in this first leg. And yeah, let's recap the action in the first match of today's doubleheader, Mount Pleasant against Portmore United.
Inside the National Stadium, Mount Pleasant traveling all the way from Draxall in St. Anne to take on the defending champions Portmore, who are in white, the regular season champions and winners of the $1 million Jamaica prize for the regular season title. Mount Pleasant fast out of the starting gates. Fletcher puts the left-footed strike early, but Paul makes the stop. Swaby latching on, but ball lost here inside their own half by Furr. Here comes Evan Taylor with a swirling strike, and again Paul has to be forced to make the diving stop. Good stop there by Paul. Mount Pleasant keeping the pressure on. Daniel Green fails to get a connection on that strike, and Paul makes himself big and blocks it. Here comes Benbow, has some support but goes all the way, and his right-footed effort sprays wide of the target and high as well. Portmore trying to find their legs after being outplayed early. Furr does miraculous work here, gets through a wall of players and unleashes this left-footed strike that has Davis in goal for Mount Pleasant unmoved. He doesn't know what hit him. The ball crashes onto the post and behind. Mount Pleasant still trying to keep the pressure on, but here's Benton Evans, the former Cornwall College standout, with a delightful pass forward here to Jovan East, who looks up, picks his spot, and delivers accurately. 1-0 to Portmore on 43 minutes. Great strike there by Jovan East. Solid finish from the former Calabar man. Here's the response now from Mount Pleasant. Jordan Fletcher turns it beautifully onto his right foot and executes a majestic right-footed strike. Paul has no chance in the Portmore goal, and the game tied up at 1-1 early in the second half. Jordan Fletcher, the hero at the moment. Fine save there by Kadeem Davis in goal as Portmore continued to press. Looked a lot better in the second half, Portmore. And here comes Jordan Fletcher now with a cross. That's Javon East with a cross, and Roshane Sharp with a seamless finish. And it makes it 2-1 to Portmore. Unchallenged, no one marking Roshan Sharp arriving on the far post. And Jovan East sets up the winning goal after himself scoring the first.
Well, at 89 minutes, I said that both teams would take what they had at 1-1, and it seems as if Mount Pleasant was listening to me and believed me that, yeah, 1-1 is just about right. Portmore weren't banking on that. They wanted to leave here with the advantage. They kept playing right until the end, and Roshan Sharp had a very, very simple finish that would have angered the Mount Pleasant coaches with the simplicity, the ease with which he managed to tap that home.
Yeah, and the dying moments, they're also deciding the man of the match honor, because we were leading at that point to Jordan Fletcher because of how much impact he had on the game. But with Javon East with a cross and the simple finish for Roshan Sharp, no choice but to award the former Calabar man the MVP honor for his solid goal, which was a fine strike, and the assist at the end.
Absolutely so. All right, Cavalier coming to tonight's second semi-final against Waterhouse after disposing of Arnett Gardens over 2 legs. We have the highlights. This Cavalier starting 11 is young, quick, and quite good.
Manning Cup MVP of 3 seasons ago. Arnett Gardens trying to go forward early. Hamilton back to Marsh. Oh, delightful ball through Marsh. That's it. 1-0 to Cavalier.
Look at where he starts it. Inside to Hamilton. Back to Marsh. Forward. Cut out by Anderson, but not enough.
Cavalier on the defensive now because Arnett are on the attack. Morgan. Still Morgan. Under pressure. Referee Nation awards a free kick to Arnett on the edge of the box. I think Cavaliers' uncertainty now also rests on who actually kicks the ball. It's Hardware! Wow! Brilliant save by Brand. At the last minute made a huge lunge to his left. He was on target there. Good searching cross in. Harrison comes out and punches away, but the referee Nation, his whistle goes, and a card is about to come out as well.
Is it a red card? It's the back pocket, Lance. I'm fearing, oh dear me, gosh, it's the red card. I'm shocked. What? Unless it's something he said. But could he have said anything to have warranted that action from the referee?
Arnett lose the ball. Irvin breaks free. Anderson gets with him. Here comes Nelson. Brilliant save by High.
As I told you that the strategy for Cavalier would be to come and we'll counter-attack you. Very good pass, but an even better save.
Marshall. Oh, delightful ball forward to Hamilton. Back inside. Oh, Marsh failing to get the shot out because, oh, now it's in. Ranike Anderson with the original block, but the rebound falls favorably to Marshall.
That seemed to happen in slow motion. Excellent tackle by Ranike Anderson first up to thwart the first chance, but then when the ball broke loose, not enough Arnett men back in defense. Tackle from Ranike Anderson would result in Zalanda Barnes towing it perfectly into Marshall's path.
Yeah. Oh, delightful pass in. Hamilton! What a goal! Sheer class!
You said there needs to be a greater cushion than 2-0 when dealing with Arnett Gardens. Well, 3-0 is roundabout good, I think.
Rankin. Paris. Cavalier now just waiting on the whistle, which they get now from O'Shane Nation. So Cavalier thumping a 10-man Arnett Gardens by 3-0. Arnett with a strike. Oh, cleared by the goalkeeper with a foot save, or did that hit the post? We'll check on the replay. But Arnett putting the pressure on. Cavaliers defenders working hard now. Arnett putting the pressure on.
This is Kemal Malcolm's first free kick. Look at this. That's a kick save. I thought he did get his foot to it like David De Gea. Arnett kept it alive.
Yeah, so here's Arnett trying really hard here, and desperate times here for the Cavalier team to get the danger away.
This is the Russell chance. Look at how quick it came to him, yeah.
Under a minute remaining in the match. And Arnett's 2018-2019 season about to disappear for them. That pretty much sums up their night. Sims with a wild left-footed effort that goes a long way wide, and Cavalier march into the semi-final playoffs against Waterhouse. Arnett Gardens exit the championship.
Yeah, so the young guns of Cavalier seeing off Arnett Gardens with ease, doing all the damage in that first leg at the Tony Spalding Sports Complex, where they left with a 3-0 win. Arnett Gardens bloodied and bruised, and the match at the Drewsland Stadium, Arnett came out like a whirlwind at the start, but then they were held at arm's length by Cavalier from thereafter. And there was never a threat from, say, the first half an hour into the game, lads. There was never a doubt that Cavalier would have seen it all the way through, that Arnett just didn't have enough to hurt them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Arnett Gardens had a very below par season overall, and to be fair, George, from last season we were speaking very, very highly about this Cavalier team and what they were offering last year. Remember that last year they were only eliminated in the semi-final playoffs by eventual champions Portmore, which we agreed was the best team in the league. So that was good form line for Cavalier. They continued that sort of form this year, and I think Cavalier have an excellent chance of running for the championship this year.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's look at Waterhouse. What have they been doing in the break is the crucial question. How sharp will they be coming into this game? Portmore United had Happy Sutherland knockout competition in St. Catherine rather, to occupy them, which they eventually won, beating another Premier League team, Dunbeholden. So that was fierce preparation for the game against Mount Pleasant. And even then, they still didn't look up to their usual standard. Would Waterhouse report razor sharp tonight with only squad matches to occupy them? That's the question we have to ask, Lance. How sharp will this Waterhouse team report for duties against a Cavalier team that is at the top of their game right now?
Well, that is a huge concern for the coaching staff of Waterhouse, George, because not only have they been inactive, but their captain and influential holding midfielder Keith Simpson returns to the starting roster tonight, having not played any football competitively since the 4th of March. So he will be coming up, we would think, a little sharp, not as sharp as he could be in match conditions, and we'll watch closely to see what he offers tonight. On the converse, Cavalier have been pretty sharp. They looked good last weekend in their playoffs against the Arnett Gardens, and we have to say that Cavalier, based on their current status, may have the slight advantage coming in here against Waterhouse.
Yeah, matches coming up in the UEFA Champions League on the home of champions, Sportsmax 2 live Tuesday 1:30 p.m. That's when the pre-game show starts, 2:30 p.m. ECT. Liverpool welcome FC Porto to Anfield in that first leg. And then on Wednesday, Manchester United at Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams. Lionel Messi and Barcelona come calling. Wednesday, 1:30 p.m., 2:30 p.m. ECT, also on Sportsmax 2. And then next Monday, April 15, 4:30 p.m., 5:30 p.m. ECT, Cavalier and Waterhouse meet in their second leg semi-final, to be followed by Portmore United against Mount Pleasant at 9 p.m. ECT. That's on Sportsmax 2.
Yeah, so that's the story as a sports match coming up over the next week, and the press conference action from both teams here as Cavalier and Waterhouse get ready for action. We've already seen what these teams did in regular season play, and for Cavalier, the first part of the playoffs last week.
Well, this round is a different round from the norm, and so we expect different things from Waterhouse, but nevertheless, we'll see what the guys have to offer on the day. Well, I guess if you watch the games, you'll see how confident these youngsters are. And they really play with confidence. They're enjoying themselves. And so they have played against Waterhouse before, and they have done well. So at the end of the day, we expect them to do well.
I think we must give credit to where credit is due. Cavalier is indeed a good team. Yes, they got the better of us, but that's in the regular season. But now it's the semi-finals. It's a different ball game. It's different 180 minutes plus, and we know what we did wrong. We know the things that we did right. So it's very much on our slate to get the things right in this time.
Well, we're looking forward for the encounter with Cavaliers, and I mean, through the season we haven't beat them, but those 3 rounds are behind us. You know what I mean? This is semi-final. You know what I mean? We're very upbeat, motivated, and ready for the challenge.
At the National Stadium venue here for the second of the semi-final playoffs. This is the first leg match between Cavalier and Waterhouse. Earlier on this evening, Portmore winning by 2-1 over Mount Pleasant to take an early advantage in that two-leg situation. But tonight we're going to see the Cavalier team take on a Waterhouse team that they have played unblemished against almost for over 3 years now. 2 wins and a drawn result against this team, Waterhouse, so far in this current season. But in the past 3 or 4 years, we have had 5 drawn results between these two teams, 3 Cavalier wins and just 1 Waterhouse win. So Waterhouse do have a score to settle with this Cavalier team.
The last 3 games between these teams, 1 game had 4 goals, and then the other 2 games were decided by 1 goal. That shows that these are 2 top-class teams and that there's not anything much between them. Well, look, Cavalier are a team that is young, but they play a mature brand of football. They have to make use of those counter-attacking situations. That's what they do better than every other team in this league, Cavalier. They have to ensure that when that ball is turned over in midfield from the Waterhouse team, they set about them with purpose. Messi, Marsh, and Hamilton, those are the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. And if they can set them freelance running on this big stadium pitch, Waterhouse are going to have problems, you suspect.
Yeah, they will have to try to get an advantage here, this Cavalier team. Of course, their home base is just a couple of meters away at Stadium East, so they're comfortable in this general geographical area. But, you know, Waterhouse have traveled really well so far this season on the road. I don't think Waterhouse will have any terrors here on this stadium field.
In the regular season just passed, Lance, what Waterhouse did very well against most of their teams, and you spoke about Keith Simpson, who's just returning from injury. They won most of those midfield battles. They were able to impose themselves. Keith Simpson and the company. Keith Simpson playing at the base of the midfield, allowing Tremaine Stewart to express himself up front, and he will be the key player for them, Lance. Having the insurance policy of Keith Simpson behind him, knowing that he doesn't have to do too much defensive work, he can create in the pocket of space that he usually occupies just round about the half line. And I think in the engine room, Waterhouse, if they win that midfield battle, they'll go a long way towards winning the game tonight and winning the tie over 2 legs.
Yeah, that's for sure. They would want to ensure that they make use of their goal-scoring opportunities, because Cavalier is a pretty solid team at the back with their central defenders, Woodbine and Kamoy Simpson. Very, very strong central defenders, and it will take a lot to breach them. This is the home of champions, Sportsmax 2.
Yeah, the NBA, Boston Celtics at the Wizards. That's Tuesday at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. ECT on Sportsmax. Followed by the Rockets and the Thunder. That's at 8:30 p.m., 9:30 p.m. ECT, also on Sportsmax. And remember, the playoffs start on Saturday, April 13th, Sportsmax 2, and on Sportsmax Plus.
La Liga lives on Sportsmax as well, and you can see Espanyol against Alaves on Saturday.